morning.
Morning, or almost afternoon. How are you?
Good. Yes, it is almost afternoon. I'm still yawning. It feels like morning.
So before we start off with anything, I actually have some news. Um,
Okay.
so after giving it much thought about what I want to do for myself in the future and how I want to continue, I have decided to actually resign from the team.
You're gonna be so missed.
I
Like, oh
know.
my goodness. You're my first direct report, and I mean, I just remember interviewing you, and I wish you all the best.
So it's been about 2 weeks since I quit my job. I wanted to make a video as to why, because all of my vlogs I feel like has been a video of why I do what I do, and so it's only right to make a why video of why I quit my job. The what now as to, okay, you ain't got an instant, consistent corporate income, what now? And how I expect to make a living and live the life that I want to live without having a corporate job. Let's get into it, shall we? It's actually really sunny today, which is nice because I kind of need some sun support, if you will. I will say, making a video like this is always like, okay, don't do what I do, but I'm gonna show you what I did. Like, I'm gonna tell you what I did, but everyone's their own person, they make their own decisions, and what I say in this video is my journey, it's my life, and I never want to say it as if you should do this too. So let's put that out there, and let's get into the why. The job that I had was a job that I got into literally a month into the pandemic, so in 2020. And it was nice, it was fun, it was different from the corporate job that I had before. Also, I worked in accounting. So the job I had before was auditing. The job before that was general ledger accounting. If you don't know, you don't know. I don't know. The girls that get it, get it. The girls who don't. I'm not trying to explain it in this video, what I did. I was an auditor. I was an internal auditor in my last job. And it was an amazing job. The people were amazing. It was a close-knit team. Even though we were virtual, I still felt more appreciated than I have felt in any other job in my entire life. I felt heard and I felt seen, and it was a very diverse group, so that was never the con of the job. And it was a new job to me because I had a co-op in internal auditing when I was in college, but I never had it as an actual career to actually be hands-on with internal auditing. So a year in that job was amazing. I learned so much, I did so much, I experienced so much, even with it being virtual. In addition to the experience that I had with the job, I also experienced a lot of mental health detriment due to the civil unrest that was happening, the actual pandemic, and how it changed my life, and how living alone just turned into being alone in general. During that time, during 2020, I felt very cut off, mentally wise. And in addition to that, the mental aspect of it, the physical aspect of it, after a year in the job, I was just like, okay, well, it kind of felt like it started over. It kind of felt like the experience of the job started over with what I was working on, and I went back into the cycle of work on this, work on that, work on this, work on that. This is the timeline of the audits. Cool, nice. And I got bored. In addition to that, there's a lot of in additions. I was studying for my certified internal auditor's degree certification, my internal auditor's certification, the CIA, and I kept failing. And it wasn't that deterred me, it was the fact that I really didn't want to study. Because I did at one point in my life, I wanted to be an internal auditor. I wanted to get my CIA. And maybe it was the timing of everything altogether that made me change my mind. Maybe it was the failures, but if I'm being honest, it wasn't the failures, because I'm good with failure. Like, it's a part of the job. I take failing tests all the time. I take that L like a G. But it was just, my heart wasn't in it. My heart wasn't in it, and it was in it. It was in it at the beginning, and then it just kind of like faltered because I realized that I was tired. It's a lot, right? It's a lot of why. In addition to working in this job, I was also building Chance at Life, which is a mindset, spirituality, and physical growth brand, much like what I talk about on this channel. And I also had another stationary business called Creative at Life, where I help people organize their life. And at the time, I was organizing my entrepreneurship and balancing it out with my 9 to 5. And that's what I taught for Creative Out Life. That's why I created planners and notebooks and to-do pads to do that for the 9 to 5 worker who wanted to fit their dreams into their life. And I was doing that and I was doing that and it was good. I was balancing all three things. It was nice. And then I just realized that I didn't have enough energy for it, like energy for all three. In addition to that, it was very tiring mentally and physically to continue working to unprecedented times. Like, okay, I had to wake up and literally work through, like as it was happening, through the storming of the Capitol. And I was in a meeting and I was like getting notifications on my phone and we're all just like working through it like it was normal. It felt like we kept trying to be normal in a world that's no longer normal. And thinking about all the other businesses that I have that I would rather work on and rather do. And it was a lot. And then lastly, I will say I just needed more freedom to do things that I wanted to do. It was hard for me to look at my PTO and be like, oh, I've worked 80 hours. I gained 12 hours or 12.3 hours of freedom of vacation time. And I understand we have weekends and holidays and half days that all add up to like, you know, days off. But essentially, I feel like my PTO had to be earned and it didn't balance out with how much I was working, because even though it was like 80 hours of work, there were some days that I was working, there were some weeks where I was working more than 40 hours, or 2 weeks in Essential when I was working more than 80 hours. And maybe that was built into my wage. My salary was pretty good too. And maybe that was built into that, but it just made no sense that how hard I was working for the sense that I can get paid time off. And then in addition to that, I'd have to ask permission. And again, this is me. This is how I think about it. I don't like not being in control of things. And whenever I asked for days off, it wasn't like, okay, yeah, sure. It was like, we'll figure it out and we'll see. Let me look at the calendar and see if you can. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, if I can't, I still will. And I hated that idea. I hated that idea in all of my jobs. I hated the fact that I had to ask for permission to do what I wanted. Because what if I can't? Because there were times they were like, oh, let us know what your vacation days are for the year. Let us know what your vacation days are now. It helps us plan better. I never knew my vacation days and I never knew what I wanted to do. And essentially, all the things that I wanted to do happened last minute. And I felt like I couldn't do a lot of them because I needed to ask permission and I didn't want to leave the business hanging. And so I took that idea of wanting to do this, that, and the third and just took it out because it just made no sense for the business. It felt like an inconvenience to the business. And I know what you're thinking, Crystal, you don't have to think that way. But whether they say it or not, I'm telling you right now, whether they say, oh, the job is flexible, we can work around it. It's not even that I'll be being able to work around it. It's the fact that I could be given the PTO, I'd be given those days off, but I come back to more work. I would have a week off, but I would come back to more work. So even though the week was off, I still have to make up the week's worth of work that I have missed or that I didn't do. It's not that I had time off. I had a break and then more time to work. It just never balanced out. And the fact that I didn't, my heart wasn't always in it, just felt like I was just wasting time. And all of that, I was just like, I'm tired. I'm tired physically and mentally, and I kind of want a new sense of freedom. I want my own sense of freedom. Because I've been working since I was 18. That's like almost 10 years of my life. Actually 17. So yeah, 10 years of my life because I'm 27. All under somebody else's rules, regulations, and way of doing it. And then some days you wake up and you don't have the same energy as you did from the day before, the week before, but you have to get the work done. And I don't want to live like that anymore. I didn't want to live like that anymore. And so I started hatching a plan on how to quit. It wasn't even a plan. It was just an idea. It's still an idea. And that gets me into the what now. I know a lot of people quit their job when their side hustle becomes more efficient and it can actually supplement their income that their other job was bringing in. That would have been the smartest thing to do. But I'm telling you right now, if I sat there and changed my work ethic to be putting like 100% into my corporate job and 100% into my businesses to make it supplement my income, I'd be tired. And I should also say, because it should have been in the why, I really don't want to. I don't want to grind anymore. I don't want to grind hard. I've been grinding since I was 17, and I didn't want to do that either. So for me to have that mindset, okay, just work harder on this side, and then balance out the two in the future would have been smart. It would have been smart, but it would have taken a lot more energy than I was willing to give, meaning I did not want to overdo myself and overdo my body and my mental health just for the sake of not working that job anymore. And with that comes its own consequences. But the why now is to put my full energy into Chance at Life and do more content creating on YouTube. And if you are watching this and you're looking at my subscriber count, it's looking like 41. It's looking like 41. That doesn't make any income. That doesn't make any income. And that's fine because I know it will. And when, I don't know. So the why now is Chance at Life podcast and teaching lessons on it and public speaking, which I have to practice a little bit more. I know that. In addition, I want to create more YouTube videos, whether that be lifestyle vlogs, and get sponsored one day, get sponsorships and create for other brands and have partnerships with other brands in addition to travel vlogs as well. Those are that's what I want to do. So subscribe. I'm not kidding. Go subscribe. Help a girl out. But that's what I want to do. And that's what I want to put my full intention into doing. And the fact that I quit my job, I can put like 100% of my energy into that in addition to resting when I need to. Because another reason why I felt like I couldn't do the job anymore is that I couldn't rest when I wanted to. Because again, even if I called out on days when I needed rest, I would come back and there'd be more work to do. So it was just a game of catch up. And what's the point of resting for a day when you have to come back and work more than you would have? And your energy is never the same every day. And I just need to be in an environment where my energy is able to be considered before I start my day of work. It's hard for me to explain all this in a video only because I even took notes and tried to minimize it to a very small, quick video. But I've never been really good at explaining what's up here to the outside world. I've never been good at that. And I've tried. I've just never been good at it because once I start talking about something, I get so excited and then all these other ideas start flowing out and it's just up to me to focus. So my focus right now is Chance at Life, podcast community, lessons, and then YouTube content creating in the best way, in the most content and simplified way, and getting to the point of a lot of subscribers and followers, maybe even on TikTok, and then getting paid sponsorships and just being me unapologetically do these videos and do these video forms and building my community from there and making my living off of my business and my content creating skills, growing skills. That's the why. That's the what now. And I told my friends, well, some of my friends, and I just told my mom the other day and she fully supports me. After a couple questions of, it was a good job, why would you do that? After that, she fully supports me and I'm very grateful for that. There's a lot of I don't knows in this scenario. There's a lot of I don't knows. And for the first time in my life, it doesn't quite scare me as it did before because my life has been one of the practical route. And this is very impractical, very illogical for me to do. And honestly, that's why I think it's going to work. So actually, that was a what now and how I am going to make my income. And I'm going to take you on this journey of me becoming a full-time content creator and a public speaker when it comes to spiritual, mental, and physical health for Chance at Life. And I'm excited. It would be ignorant for me to tell you that I'm not scared. There's always going to be fear there. Like I said in my previous vlog when I made my media kit, fear is always going to be there, but it does not have to be in the driver's seat. And I'm not going to allow it to be in the driver's seat. There's a lot of unknowns and it's okay. And something that has been helping me is my faith in the universe, my faith in my abilities, and just the support system that I have around me who won't lie to me. They already know I'm crazy, but they won't lie to me. And I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to quit my job because I don't have any dependents. It's only me, so if I fail, I fail. And no one's coming down with me if I fail. I'm 27 years young and I can do literally whatever I want. And honestly, I spent the past 8 years doing something I really didn't want to do. And so I'm excited to see where my life goes and putting my efforts into something that I wake up every day and I'm excited to do. And I'm happy to bring you along with me. So if you made it to the end of this video, thank you. If you want to support your girl, subscribe on my YouTube channel. My Instagram is connected for Chance at Life and for personal because I do makeup and fashion as well. Also, my TikTok is also connected to my YouTube profile. So go follow your girl there too. I am grateful for you. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. I think that went well. Yep. My leg's asleep. Ow. Ow.